Welcome back. Here's the Character Report, and we have more news coming out of NYCC, New York Comic Con, thick and fast. It's Spider-Man news, so of course, with Spider-Man being my favourite character, we're going to take a look. Now, I've not read this article. I've not read this article yet, so you're going to get my first honest reactions and opinion to this. As you may already know, I'm very outspoken when it comes to Spider-Man. He is my favourite character, and it hasn't been great for old Spidey. But let's see. Now, before we get into the article, don't forget to like the video if you can. Hit subscribe too. I'm trying to build an honest opinion channel. That's all you'll ever get is an honest opinion. And hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. So let's dive in. Spider-Man Venom's Death Spiral event in 2026 ahead of Queen in Black. Now, Queen in Black, I think, is Null. The sort of symbiote god guy is coming back, but Hell, she is going to subdue him and become the new sort of reigning queen over the symbiotes. That's what I've heard so far. But let's see what this says. It says the Marvel Comics Spider-Man and Venom panel at New York Comic Con looked at what's coming from the webheads and symbiotes in 2026. Now, let's just say, before we get any further, the symbiotes thing has been absolutely rinsed. I mean, every single character has a symbiote suit, a symbiote pet, a symbiote plushie. It's getting to the point where the entire universe is just symbiotes. It's like they are rinsing this idea so much. I think I've got fatigue from it. I'm not excited anymore about seeing like Venom or any of those characters because, I mean, if you're reading the current Venom book, you'll know what I mean. They've completely taken everything that's really cool about Venom and Mary Jane, because, spoiler alert, Mary Jane is Venom. Yes, Mary Jane Watson is Venom. I'm thinking, what are they thinking? I mean, are they thinking? It just seems like they're pouring more and more of what we don't want on top of more and more of what we were throwing in the bin. And it's just sad. There could be so much with the Spider Universe. It is so rich and it's such a flagship and iconic part of Marvel. They just seem to be drowning it out with all this. And I bet you it's going to be the same writers that aren't writing great books right now, the same old storylines, the same old characters. Anyway, we're one sentence in, guys. Buckle up. Let's see what it says, including the launch of the Amazing Spider-Man Venom event comic, Death Spiral by Joe Kelly, Al Ewing, Charles Soule, and Jesus Saiz, starting in February. So here is the info. Death Spiral will be written by three of today's acclaimed Spider-Man and symbiote storytellers. Well, again, I'm really sorry, but Joe Kelly, he is a great writer, but his Amazing Spider-Man run is not great at all. And Al Ewing on Venom is probably the worst Venom run I've read in years. Charles Soule, however, is a fantastic writer. I'm not reading Eddie Brock Carnage, so I can't comment on that run. But it does fill me with a little bit of hope that Charles Soule is involved. And will feature artwork by Ed McGuinness, Carlos Gomez, and Jesus Saiz. So there's some good artists there. During the panel, Ewing, Kelly, and Soule, along with executive editor Nick Lowe. Yes, Nick Lowe, the only villain that Spider-Man cannot defeat. Senior editor Jordan D. White and editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski discuss recent developments, including Spider-Man's cosmic adventures, which aren't fun. Mary Jane becoming Venom, which I think you know how I feel about that, and Eddie Brock's bonding with Carnage, and explained how it all leads into this terrifying saga that introduces Torment. I bet you it's another symbiote of some kind, maybe. A twisted new supervillain who targets Peter Parker and all those connected to him, putting Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage on a violent collision course that not everyone involved will survive or ever asked for. It continues. One of the wildest times in Spider and symbiote history revs into high gear with this killer crossover, says Spider editor Nick Lowe. Not only will readers get to witness Peter Parker learn that his longtime love, Mary Jane Watson, is bonded with one of his greatest nemesis. Well, we know that already, and he already knows this, so it's not a shock. We all read the issue. Or maybe we don't, because actually, I correct myself there. He doesn't know yet because he is stranded in space, right? And of course, Peter Parker's not on Earth at the moment, so it's his good old stand-in, his clone brother, Ben Reilly, that knows. Okay. See, forget it wrong, I will correct myself. Now, where were we? I've lost track. It says, yes, Peter Parker will learn that his long-time love, Mary Jane Watson, is bonded with one of his greatest nemesis. But both learn that Eddie Brock has paired with the baddest symbiote ever, Carnage. They'll all be even more horrified when they face a scarier villain, Torment. No one is safe. Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, Mary Jane are essentially a weird family unit, interconnected with gigantic amounts of history together. Yeah, history that's been completely forgotten and destroyed and rewritten into this aberration of whatever is going on right now. Oh, God, please don't make it worse. Anyway, Soule explained at the panel, there's an engine there. There's a lot of emotional energy to break apart. Okay, I think they've got there are a few typos there. There's a lot of emotional energy there to break apart. And then we needed a serial killer, Kelly added. Of course you did. So here, I guess, is the logo, Amazing Spider-Man, Venom, Death Spiral. And we got a cool cover. The art looks nice, at least. Joe Kelly, Al Ewing, Soule, Jesus Saiz. All right. And I guess this weird-looking monstrosity in the background could be Torment, because there's Carnage and there's Venom, I guess. Blood is thicker than Venom. Of course it is. This is coming February 2026, apparently. All right, so Ed McGuinness has done a great job on that cover. Let's read the little solicit. Let's see what it says. It says, Amazing Spider-Man Death Spiral. New Amazing Spider-Man Venom crossover kicking off with an alpha one-shot. Of course, we're going to get lots of tie-ins and lots of little one-shots in February 2026. Written by Joe Kelly, Al Ewing, and Charles Soule. We've been through the creative team. So Death Spiral Part 1. The next epic Spider-Man and Venom crossover starts here, spinning out of the Amazing Spider-Man, Venom, and Eddie Brock Carnage from February to April, because they want you to buy all of these books. Okay. A new super-powered serial killer is on the loose, and they're coming for Spidey, Venom, and everyone in between. But what terrible secret has Carnage learned, and what does it have to do with Spider-Man? Don't miss the next chapters of this Spiders and Symbiote saga in the pages of The Amazing Spider-Man and Venom. And the Queen of Black series, now subtitled Hell Will Reign for the summer. Yes, hell is coming. So we also get looks at Amazing Spider-Man in 2026. The real one in space, the fake ones swimming around New York. But January will bring us the return of Hellgate. So Hellgate is this villain that nobody really cares about, completely unoriginal and boring, which was introduced at the beginning of Joe Kelly's run, and has sent Spider-Man to space to toughen up so that they can battle at their best. And there we have it. Okay, so we got a nice cover there, a couple of nice covers. Amazing Spider-Man 19, new issue of ongoing series on sale January 2026, my birthday. So Joe Kelly, art by Pepe Larraz and cover by Pepe Larraz, Spidey vs. Hellgate Round 2. So I guess he gets back to have this big showdown. The spacefaring Spider-Man heads back to Earth finally, only to find Hellgate standing in his way. Spider-Man's finally strong enough to beat the most powerful foe he's ever faced, right? Yeah, but he's a foe that no one cares about. There's no history there. It's not like, Green Goblin. There's history there. This is, hey, I've introduced a new character and I want him to be important, so I've sent Spider-Man to space. And you're going to forget about this character for God knows how many issues. We're going to bring him back and you're supposed to care. It's bad. It's bad. I'm really sorry, guys. Amazing Spider-Man 20. Let's see what this says. Night of the Goblin Slayers. Okay. Norman Osborn may be purged of his sins. Now, Norman, at the moment, if you don't know, is swinging around the city in a spider suit, taking the place of Spider-Man while he's gone. And like I say, Ben Reilly is taking the place of Peter Parker. So his sins may be purged, but that doesn't mean they can't still come back to haunt him. Hobgoblin wants Norman out of the Spider-Man game and his life for good. And he's got the hyper-lethal tech of an entire goblin-slaying army at his disposal. What does Norman have? I don't know. A Spider-Man or woman or two who trust him as far as they can throw him. So that's probably tying into the fact that all the other spiders turned up to challenge who this new person was in the spider suit, and he revealed it was him. It was Norman Osborn. And of course, I was as excited as you were. As well as an Amazing Spider-Man annual by Saladin Ahmed. It just gets worse. I mean, Saladin Ahmed's Wolverine run and pretty much everything else he touches is just so mediocre and boring, I would say. So again, it's the same people writing the same books. There's nothing new or original here. It's just going to be toilet paper. Oh my Lord. At least we get a cool cover, and we really do, with this new character that was introduced I think in Joe Kelly's first arc, maybe, or the second arc, I can't remember. And why can't I remember? Because he's completely superfluous and he's uninteresting. And it's a character thrown in just to have a character. It's boring. I couldn't care less about this character. But now we've got him in this annual because he keeps popping up just to remind you, because I think they're testing water in the hope they can spin it off and sell you another book that you're not going to enjoy. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1, written by Saladin Ahmed, Joe Kelly and more. Art by Federico Vincentini. Francesco Mobili is doing the cover. It's called Rapid Responders. Spider-Man shows new speedster Rapid, there we go, there's his name, around the friendly neighborhood. Rapid has a lot to learn about the superhero game, but the training wheels come off when Screwball live streams death and destruction across New York City. Okay. While the crowd got to vote on the name of Spider-Gwen's new 616 band. You see, this is the depths of Spider-Man now. Spider-Gwen has her own band in her comic. And the most exciting thing you get to do is vote on what the band name's called. Silk and the Static, Silence and Silk, Threadbare, and A Subtle Web. Well, no, I'm not going to vote for any of them. I don't care. Okay, all new Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider 6. So again, this is a book that I tried reading. It's Stephanie Phillips. Need I say more? With art by Paolo Villanelli, cover by David Marquez. Unfriendly Competition, it's called. Gwen's new band competes in a battle of the bands. I'm so excited. But things get more dangerous than they bargained for when someone unexpected takes the stage by storm. Will Gwen and her new band survive? And Null One gets down with the Celestials. So this looks very cool. That's some gorgeous art there. So this is Null One. So Null One, I guess this is where hell she decides to come down and kick his ass and take over the symbiotes. And the Celestials are involved in some shape or form too. The art looks stunning. So even though Null will probably be another mediocre event, the art's going to look nice, right? Apparently, Madame Mask returns to Venom 2026 with MODOK on the side. She's going for Mary Jane Watson. Here we go. And again, do we care? Probably not. I mean, Madame Mask has got a cool looking character style, but is it enough to pull me in? I don't know. So let's see what they say about Venom 253, where this all happens. Al Ewing, Carlos Gomez, unfriendly competition. Mask makes her move. Madame Mask wants Venom out of the way, one way or another, and somehow she's found out who's under the goo. With all the power of AIM in her golden glove, she's turning the screws on the world's strangest roommates. But will the Goosum twosome squish under the pressure, or is Madame Mask waking up the monster within? And we get some preview art there. So Marvel Comics, Spider-Man and his venomous friends, Thursday, October the 9th. That was the panel. And it seems that we've got a little bit more information. And those who stuck around got a NYCC exclusive variant cover of Spider-Man Noir from Simone DeMeo. Now, that book's okay. You know, there's some really good ideas in there, and the art is stunning. The art is really, 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 really nice. So that was the Spider panel. I wonder if they've got more than one Spider panel, but I'm just not excited, guys. My favourite character, yet again, being sort of relegated to the poor storylines, the same old creative teams that haven't really made an impact on Spider-Man in the current books they're writing. Yep, I'm sorry, guys. So, you know, I did say it was a news article. I didn't say it was good news. Now, a lot of you will disagree, and that's absolutely fine. If you are enjoying any of those books, I genuinely, sincerely, I'm really pleased for you, okay? Don't let my opinion on something detract from any enjoyment you're getting from your books. It's just my opinion, okay? And we can agree to disagree, and we can have some fun when the reviews come. So there we go. That is the Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral event that's coming in 2026. And I'm sure lots of these Spider books will start leading up to that now as they try and entice you to buy all these extra books for this event. And they'll be just as disappointing as the ones that have come before. Okay. Oh, the downvotes are coming. The downvotes are coming. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Do let me know yours. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. And hopefully you've liked the video and subscribed. We'll see you soon. Take care, guys.